And I am Mo the Closer, and I got a really, really special guest with me. I've got Kabir, who is the owner, the developer, the man behind all the moves on probably the most, no, it ain't even probably, it is the most tech savvy credit repair software and so much more in there, all mixed up. But welcome, Kabir Muhammad. I appreciate you being here, bro.
Oh, the closer, Momo. Appreciate it. It's an honor to be on your platform. The great Mo, the closer.
I appreciate that. Like, man, let me tell you. So I remember in 2022, 2023, just getting into like credit repair and introducing myself to it. And I was like, who is it? Because nobody looks like you in the owner spectrum of credit repair software. Nobody looks like you.
Yeah.
So I'm like, who is young black dude that's making moves that's talking about AI and Metro 2? And all of that stuff was going over my head then. So I was like, I don't know what this is, but I rock with it because I respect the fact that, for one, you ahead of everybody, right? But I'm gonna start it off like this. What is Credit Fixer? What is it?
Credit Fixer is empowerment. Credit Fixer is belief in yourself. Credit Fixer is unlocking your limits. That's what Credit Fixer is really about. Unlocking you. And it's through and you're finding that ability through fixing your own credit, right? Credit Fixer is a platform that empowers consumers, right? Not only to fix their credit, but to manage their credit, but also get financial insights and recommendations to help you manage your credit and in your financials, right? And
Yeah.
so, Credit Fixer just it's a I look at it as empowerment. That's how I would describe it.
Got it. Got it. Now, as far as credit fixes, who is it actually for?
Yeah. So I mainly push Credit Fixer to the ordinary consumer, right? The ordinary person like ourselves, right?
Okay.
Credit Fixer foundationally is a DIY credit repair platform, right?
Yeah.
Geared towards the ordinary consumer.
Okay.
However, Credit Fixer has another component where it's for the CROs. And those who know. And
Got
like you, Mo, you know about the Credit Fixer business. And
I
it's
do.
probably one of the most advanced, if not the most advanced credit repair softwares or CRMs for credit repair companies or
Yeah.
CRO.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Like Credit Fixer powers our entire credit repair business, and then we've been able to partner it with Go High Level to run the marketing for it, and then you have all the automation set up in the back end. Like I'm telling you, if y'all haven't used it, I'm gonna leave a link below where you can use it. But if you haven't used it, that thing goes crazy, especially if you're like new into credit repair and you don't know what to do in credit repair. Because when I first started in credit repair, I didn't know what I was doing. But the cool thing is, Kabir put everything in there so that we don't actually have to figure it out. Like it's literally step one, step two, step three. Like
Yeah.
this is what's happening. So I definitely appreciate that. But just really jumping in, why don't people know about you?
Man, you know,
Because I hear it. Like I'm gonna tell you, like word. This is word on the street. I'm gonna tell you. When I say I'm rocking with Credit Fixer, and they're like, "Oh yeah, uh," and that's it, right? But why don't people know more about Credit Fixer?
I think it's a little bit of I think it's part of the process of
Yeah,
growth as a startup company, as
yeah,
a business, as something that you built truly built from the ground up, right?
yeah,
I think it comes with being on certain platforms, being able to partner with their other people, actually those who have influence that know about it, being able to that software is it, kind of like what you're doing right now.
yeah.
Like those who know, and then there's some people who just don't want to know. They don't want Credit
Right.
Fixer to be
They
known,
ain't
but
ready.
they're not ready for that yet. Uh, I just think that we're getting there. I'll just say that. I'll say that.
Okay. Okay. But I mean, I'm gonna set the record straight. The industry is sleeping on you. They
Yeah,
are.
and I'm gonna say this because in entrepreneurship, they say you can't be humble with your business. And Mo, you know me personally. I ain't.
Look, look, you
I'm a,
just stepped out. You done
I'm like
came out. You done came out with a wait a minute. Can I tell them about the album?
sure, yeah. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, how did I ask you? Can I tell them about the album? Look, so the album, there is a Credit Fixer album that's about to drop. Kabir's gonna leave his socials on here so that you can go and follow him. And I also tagged him in this live. But check this out. He has a whole album on credit repair, how credit repair is doing you dirty, how the government is doing you dirty with credit repair. So he really out here talking greasy. And I don't think people are ready for it. Like I really think that's why the industry is sleeping on you. But I'm really like keeping it real. It's like you got the biggest product smoking in credit repair as far as software goes.
Yeah.
And it's like one of those you're ahead of the time. And people don't really be ready for that. But like what's the biggest misconception you've come across about your software?
Um, that Credit Fixer is just a DIY platform.
Ah,
Credit Fixer is just a credit repair platform.
yeah.
The biggest misconception. Credit Fixer is credit.
Mhm.
That's what Credit Fixer is. Credit Fixer is a platform that's literally putting credit in your hands on all levels.
Mhm.
Like a lot of so people see Credit Fixer in its infancy stage. Although we launched three years ago, I've been building it and growing it and growing it and growing it. And the thing is, see, I truly built this platform. Like
Yeah.
it's not a WordPress site. I didn't hop on somebody's bandwagon and start, promoting it. I didn't, get a white label of it. I didn't
Mhm.
do any of that. I see a lot of people in the industry claiming that they created a platform, and it's kept right.
Yeah.
But that's social media. That's
Right.
how it goes,
Of course.
right? But I truly built something, and when you truly build something, you look at Amazon. You saw Jeff Bezos in his office. It didn't look like it. Look, his office looked like a storage room.
Right.
Now he's a multi-billionaire. I built my software out of my office
Yeah.
with my bare hands, right, day and night for 2 years straight. And so that this platform is beyond just repairing your credit. It's putting credit in your hand, being able to allowing you to make the best decisions and providing you insights and recommendations on what to do next, even if you don't know what to do. So
Right.
I've always built it in you wonder why Credit Fixer business is so simple is because I figured if I can make it simple for the DIY person, the ordinary person, I can design it for the business user and make it simple for them because I know the difficulties of running a credit repair company.
Right.
You
Right.
know, so yeah, that's what it's rooted in, and
Yeah.
that's the difference between me and all these other platforms out there. No shade against them, but they doing what they doing. I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And what I found in using the platform is that what I love is being able to talk to people,
Mhm.
right? And you're very hands-on with the program. You're very hands-on with feedback. You're very hands-on with making sure that you're ahead of the game, right?
Yeah,
You've done a lot to make sure that you can't be compared with other platforms, right? And it's because it stands alone. Like there are very few places where or very few software or fintech companies that can say they offer three things, right? You do it yourself, you got family, and you
yeah,
have business. But I think a whole lot of businesses are sleeping on the fact that you can run a credit repair, business from one piece of software, right? And it's kind of scary when you think about it. I was even afraid of it when I thought about it because the reality is, even if if you have everything connected well, that's the one. Like you only need your software
yeah, yeah.
because you're setting things up where you're like mailing the letters for them. You got that set up in there. You have the disputes in there. You have the training in there.
Mhm.
Every week having the meetings and all that stuff in there. Like that's priceless. So you're talking about like mentorship and a business.
Yes, yes.
But what made you just say, hey, let me put all this together because the industry needs this?
Man, really, truly, just solving the problem that I,
Gotcha.
you know, feeling like I was ignorant, feeling like I was powerless, feeling like I always had to depend on somebody to do it myself. I mean, to do it for me,
Yeah.
and doing it for yourself is not for everybody. Everybody,
Sure.
you just got different lifestyles, right?
Hmm.
But my thing is like I've always wanted to solve a problem, and this is a big problem right now. Everybody has credit. Everybody's looking for funding for their business. Everybody's looking to get a car. Everybody's looking, for financial freedom.
Yeah.
And so I figured like if I can do my part and truly do it, and it wasn't rooted in making money, it was rooted in solving a problem, and it's still
Right.
rooted like that. That's why I haven't really been tripping. But it's getting to a point to where people are seeing what I'm doing and they saying like, oh wow, what Credit Fixer is doing is working,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Some of the biggest names right now, like I'm gonna tell you one quick story. Like front end, I told you the story personally. Like it was a
Right.
front end, I was looking for an outside company to redo the front end of my application. I mean, of my software,
Hmm.
just the front end of it. And as I'm looking, I see this name on there, and so I go and meet with them, and it was like, "Oh, you're Credit Fixer." I was like, "Yeah, I'm the one who applied. Like, I
Uh-huh.
mean, to meet you, right, and to have this meeting." And he was like, "No, no, no. We did a front end for another software that's like yours, and mind you, these people are overseas, right? And so we did one, and your name just kept coming up, and they said that they wanted to fashion their software after yours. And so we've looked at your software for months." And so that told me something, and it was just like, man, they are really watching.
Hmm.
And this problem that I'm solving and I'm striving to solve, some of the bigger names are trying to do what I'm doing now. Because I was one
Yeah.
of the first to go after DIY credit repair,
Right.
right, in the industry. And the other man, like it's time for me to really this year to really go crazy.
It
This
is.
really go partner with other individuals, right?
Yes.
Partner with other names, and I think that's where the growth of Credit Fixer is gonna go. Because you asked me earlier, like, why hasn't Credit Fixer, taken off? And truth be told, I did take the software to those of us in our industry, right? Some of the bigger names, and you name them.
Yeah.
If that name come to you, I talk to them.
You went to them. Yep.
And it was either like, nah, I got to put my name and my face on it, or nah, I need 50-50, or like, it was just like, it wasn't good deals. And then from there, it just kind of broke out to be like, I don't like you now.
Yeah.
So I want
Yeah.
to make sure you don't take off. I'd
So
rather
the
support
pushback
this
you
other
getting is
software.
like, I don't
Huh?
like you, so I'm gonna make sure that you stifle.
Exactly. So it turned into bitterness because I'm like, bro, that's not a good deal. Like, you're
Hmm.
not really understanding the vision of like what it's bigger than you or me. It's for people. It's for building something bigger than just ego and stuff like that, right? And that's just my assumption if it was ego, right? But at the same time, it's like, man, we got an opportunity, but how you feeling towards me? You would rather go promote somebody else than me,
Hmm.
a black man that came up just like you,
Hmm.
but you would rather take all that energy and all that influence that you have with your people and take it to a whole nother community
Hmm.
so that they can leverage all of that hard work that you put in rather than coming to somebody that looked like you that truly
Yeah.
built his own platform, right? So, I never put my success in other people's hands. So that's why I don't complain, and that's why I didn't really want to bring that up. But truth be told, like I went to us.
Hmm.
And I presented the opportunity like, yo, we can really we can take over the whole industry. And now people who are bigger in the industry, they're looking at me and they're like, yo, nah, he doing it right. Like, we got to do it
Yeah.
like that. And now they're working hard. So now I'm working 10 times harder.
Hmm.
Because I'm competitive. Like, I'm a
Hmm.
former athlete. I'm the second oldest of 9 children, excuse me. And, I really had to get it out the mud and really just work and grind hard.
Right.
I know what it's like to, have to, figure it out yourself. I know
Yeah.
what it's like to, have to take care of your family, have to do what it takes, have to sacrifice, have to find the power inside yourself. I know what it's like, being a top athlete in your city and your parents ain't been to no games,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, man, I know what that feels like, but
Hmm.
because I know that there's power in people and I believe in people, that's why I'm like the right man for this, for what I'm doing. And I think that's why God put me in position to do what I'm doing. And, I just have higher expectations for where Credit Fixer is right now. And, hopefully, with some of these, deals that I'm working on right now, you know,
Something gonna shake.
hey, don't be surprised when you see Credit Fixer looking like Credit Karma.
Something gonna shake. Something gonna shake. I won't be surprised at all. Because here's one thing that I got out of what you said. You said you talked to old boy,
Mm-hmm.
and he said, "Oh yeah, I've been looking at your platform because other people want theirs like yours."
Mm-hmm.
You went to him so you could change yours. So
Yeah.
the people who are trying to copy you, who didn't want anything to do with you, they're
Mm-hmm.
playing catch up.
Yeah. Correct. Yep.
So by the time that they look like you and are doing the things that you're doing, you're on to something else.
Yep. I'm already ahead of the game. But one of the things that I look at is like, we're living in the age of AI and stuff like that. And it's nothing to kind of, you know, copy something. It's nothing
Yeah.
to do that. But I don't recommend people try to copy software
Right.
because and if you're not a software engineer, you never dealt with software, it's more difficult than you think it is.
Yeah.
It's not in making the software. It's about maintaining the software. And if you
Yeah.
don't have no knowledge behind that, good luck. Okay. So you're gonna come and go and you're gonna waste a lot of your time. You might make a quick little dollar here and there, but say that's not what it's about. It's a truth, and that's why you gotta be rooted. You gotta be rooted in a mission and a vision. And
Right.
that's what builds business. And I think that's why like a lot of us entrepreneurs who are up millions, when I know like two or three of them that's working jobs now, but they was flossing online, had the foreigns and all that. But one thing I'm grateful for is that, I never got too caught up in that. And believe me, I initially did, man. I was
Yeah.
in Atlanta. I had my drop top coupe. I had the cars, had it all. But I'm glad I learned early, to, what, build a real business.
Right.
And all businesses have ups and downs.
Yes.
Fortune 500 businesses go up and down.
Yeah.
So all these people that's flossing these cars and stuff, you know,
We
if
talked
they
about that
always
yesterday.
up,
We
they
were
they
like, I know some of these people.
man, because I know a lot of y'all in person. Some of y'all know in person.
Yeah, we
And
know a lot of these people in person,
it
and we're
ain't like
like, that's
that.
not how it is. That's not, and that's
But
okay. That's okay,
that's
right? That's
fine. I
okay.
know why you're doing it.
Yeah,
I
that's
get
okay.
it.
Because people enjoy watching the lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
And we had the conversation yesterday. I was like, yeah, I thought about buying a car, but I'd rather be on a plane. And, the whole idea is not to be driving nowhere anyway. So it's like, but there are the entrepreneurs that the suit, the tie,
Mhm.
the cars, the clothes, the shoes, the jewelry, the all of that, right? And that's how they're getting their clients, or that's
Yeah,
how they're making those deals.
for
And
sure.
that's okay, right?
Yeah, facts.
But what do you feel like the bigger banks industry, because of where we are, do you feel like that's gonna phase out, or do you feel like it's just gonna be like copy and paste from the banks? Because the banks are looking at it like, okay, you're just like that next guy, or you're just like the person who just left the bank. What do you think is about to happen with that?
I think anything fast is going to go fast,
Mm,
and if you don't take the proper measures and you don't pay attention to what's a trend and what's actually, you know, not a trend,
sure.
I think you'll remain in the game. But I think
Right.
a lot of banks, man, they understand trends. Like they know they'll leverage you as a trend.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be a trend, be a trend. If you can't recognize what's the trend, like I said, I've seen people come and go. I've seen the same play. And if you start to see if everybody's doing the same play, then you can estimate the outcome
Yeah.
of that play, right? If
Yeah.
you see it enough, right? So back to your question, I think you know, I think a lot of these things are trends, but I do think that with all trends, we should leverage them, leverage the trend because there's there's value in it, right?
Right.
But at the same time, approach it like, okay, approach it like it's a trend, and don't approach it as your business.
Mm-hmm.
You get my point? And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think the banks, man, I think a lot of these things gonna dry up because that's what happens with all things. If too much of it is happening, that means it's too late.
The plays, the
It's over.
plays, so, the plays. Like, have you been in a situation where because all of that stuff dries up, like where you're always gonna stand and be your own, you know, like you're still that dude that I'm going to get it regardless.
Mhm.
And do you feel like that's going like you've ever been in a room and they didn't take you seriously because you're like, hey, I'm me, but this is what I have. But then they come back later on, months later, like, oh, I see what you were trying to do. Let me get in.
Yeah. I haven't had anybody try to come back and say, "Let me get in," but I've had people say, "Like, damn, you was right."
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn, I wish I had, kept rocking with you.
Mm-hmm.
Then I see certain people that, leverage me, leverage my platform, and like I said, like they not in a position because they you just gotta. I just think people just gotta stay authentic, just be
Right.
real, be honest, like just be honest, just be authentic, and I think just be pure in like what you're trying to do,
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had people like come back and say like, "Nah, you did it." I was,
I can only imagine. I can
uh-huh.
only imagine. But let me go back to enough of saying like why people sleeping on you because we already established that like the industry is sleeping on you, and the reality is they shouldn't be. They really shouldn't be, and it's because if they don't know your name right now, they're definitely about to know it. And I say in the next few months because the stuff that you and I talked about, like
Yeah.
it's no other choice. Like it's no other choice but for the industry to see you.
I'm forcing their hand. Like
You know.
real talk, I'm forcing their hand. And to be honest with you, like I could do music. I was about to start dissing folks. I was about to look. I was about to make them come out and say
You
something.
about to be the 50 Cent of credit repair.
What? Man, listen, they don't know me like they see old Kabir humble. He a meek dude. Like no, I'm really like that. Like I'm a fighter. Like I'm a problem. Like you ask my mama. Like my mama had to get me up out of LA because I was I was on a trajectory. So it's like, but like I said, man, I just have such a different type of heart. You know what I mean? And I give people mercy. I give people, grace. Because I'm a man of God, man. I
Yeah.
believe in God, and if God is the most merciful and He's the most, you know, beneficent and all these different attributes, I could, and He's the most of that, the highest degree of that. I mean, I could try to have some degree of that. You know what I mean? So like when people do me foul or leverage me or steal from me or talk bad about me in other rooms just to, put a bad light on me, spotlight on me,
Yeah.
it's all good
You
because
already know what it is.
the truth gonna defend itself.
You
And
already know
now,
what it
like
is.
I'm just gonna put the truth out there more.
Yeah.
Like I could tell a lot about like a couple people here that be talking what they talking and ain't that. But
They ain't that.
man, what's for them is for them.
Yeah.
What's for me is gonna be for me.
That's correct.
And I don't. I always check myself because I know I could do some 50 Cent stuff out here and people will rock with it and I'll be like up here, but I don't want to get it like that, even though I'll be feeling like it.
Right.
I want to. I want to. But don't play with me. I am not to be played with.
This morning when I turned on my IG, the first thing I saw was in your stories, and you were like, I am not to be fucking played with. Like, and I was like, this how we start in the morning?
Look, I'm like that at home, man. My children be like, they be looking at me like I'm crazy. But man, listen, I'm gonna tell you because like I've been talking to a few banks, and man,
Dang.
it's like I was hesitant that I had to switch up my page to be more corporate and stuff because,
Mhm.
and I'll say this, like that was one mistake that I did make, and I won't call it a mistake. It was a process of me having to build my business. I had to approach it like I was an influencer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when you're working with corporate companies, they more so want to see corporate look, right?
Yeah.
And I was afraid of that. But business recognize real, business recognize real.
Mm-hmm.
They researched me. They looked up everything.
Mm-hmm.
That was none of that came up. But I was transitioning credit because I'm like, I already know how I go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, being a black man that really own his own thing, and you try to go corporate, it's a different kind of type of way you got to be. It's a
Yeah.
different type of,
Yeah.
you gotta come correct, because
Right.
those type of partnerships come with certain, views and looks. And when you start talking to stakeholders, they're like, hey, I don't know if we can, but I see Wallow do it. Mercedes Benz and Wallow, he's from
Mm-hmm.
Philly,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, but they understand like he's marketable.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
business is a real business. Like Credit Fixer is a real business.
It is.
Despite me having to build it or gain attention through, like an influencer, but now over the course of that, I've gotten the companies where I can now kind of transition it, and they recognizing that, and like a lot of these conversations are being had now, and I'm
Yeah.
grateful for it. But I'm grateful for God for the whole process. But man, this thing could go a lot faster. I can say that.
So let me go back to the software. Like your software is doing a really good job of putting an actual business in a box
Mhm.
into credit professionals' hands. And it doesn't even have to be credit professionals. I think that's the most amazing part.
Yeah.
Your business is your software is doing a good job at putting a complete business in the community's hands. Like, what do you what do you see this like? I see it as tech revolution,
Mhm.
and it's something more than I just have just a credit repair business. Like, I see it as a movement because we get to see you go through it. Like,
Mhm.
how do you feel about this being a tech revolution?
Yeah, like I said, I think it is a revolution. Like I truly believe we could corner the whole credit market with Credit Fixer. You know,
Yeah.
I think we can really do that. There's things that I can't say on here
Sure.
because it'll give it away.
Sure.
Like some of the things that we have already actually developed, but I just put it on hold now. But I think like we can really connect all things credit through Credit Fixer as a platform, and that's what's transpiring right
Yeah.
now, and that's what some of these conversations that I'm having, they're seeing that, and they're like, you know what, I
Absolutely.
can put money behind this, you know,
Absolutely.
and the crazy, I bootstrapped all this, and it's funny to
That's the
me.
dope part. Like, getting on the line with you, I'm telling you, every time we have a conversation, I get off the phone and I'm like, yeah, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. What next? Who want it? Let's go. Let's go.
Right, right.
And like, I'm hype.
Yeah.
And I swear I make money every time I get off the phone with you because I'm calling somebody like, all right, what you want? Pay it. Like this, it's this. Here it is. This. I'm sending you this invoice. Like, and I'm hype.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like you really changing the game off of just the mentality of business looks like us,
Facts.
right? You've been offered multiple millions of dollars. If I'm not mistaken, like 50 million. I read 50 million.
Man, listen, I'm gonna tell you this, Mo. Had I known what life was gonna be like 3 years later, I would have taken that 50 million. And I
Right.
know it wouldn't have been 50, but still, I would have took the millions. You
You would
know,
have took the millions.
but I'm so grateful that about this journey,
Yeah.
because had I taken that, I'd probably been bored somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably have done everything that I've wanted to do and be like, okay, what to do next. Granted, I'm a creator. Like I know how to create things. I would have created something else,
Mm-hmm.
but I wouldn't have gained all of this experience.
Mm-hmm.
Learning business, learning relationships, the
Yeah.
ups and downs of business, the process of creating software and dealing with customers. People create businesses all the time and they fail.
Yeah.
Like I
Absolutely.
had my business coach, man, she said, Kabir, do you know that you're in such an amazing position? She said, so she specializes in taking companies and um, helping them exit.
Got it.
That's what she does. She said, Kabir, I'm dealing with 3 companies right now. I make multiple millions a year. She said, they are struggling right now. There's two on the verge of failing, and they make 20 million,
Mm-hmm.
eight figures a year.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, Kabir, bro, I'm so proud of you. You bootstrap this software. You ain't take no money. You
Mm,
own it 100%.
mm.
He said, Kabir, you don't know what you got.
Yeah.
And like, it's hard to see that sometimes when your head is on the ground, your head is down, and you working, hoping that
Right.
somebody gonna see the value in what you producing.
Right.
You know, and people already see value, but to the degree that you want your expectation, you know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? So like for me, I'm just like I realized like, man, this journey has taught me how to be a true business owner,
Mm.
true leader, somebody that I look at my team and I'm like, damn man, y'all still rocking with me? Yeah, we
Yeah. Good
rocking with you,
job. Good
Calvert.
job. Good job.
We rocking
Yeah.
with you, man. We see you. They see me every day, and they've been through the trenches
Yeah.
with me, and we grown, we rocking, and we building something special. They see it, they understand it, they know me, they know when I say, "Oh no, you want to change," man, they know what's up.
They already know they about to change it.
Yeah,
Right. They already know something going. They already know what's up.
yeah, man. So we just getting better, man,
I love
better and
it.
better.
The as far as like the software itself, what's that
Mhm.
feature? Eh, with credit software, I can only imagine you got a favorite feature. What's that feature that's your favorite? And probably because you knew the industry wasn't ready for it.
Mm, the automated dispute letter
Mm,
creator.
mm,
That's actually my favorite feature because I've always wanted to get the platform to where the user don't have to think about what's next.
mm,
And about 2 months ago, we actually released that feature to where it's like it's going when you import that new credit report,
mm-hmm.
it's going to check to see if the account is verified, deleted, or updated to positive, right? And then if it's deleted, it's going to remove it. And the items that are still verified, it's going to automatically generate that next round dispute letter for you.
So even if I knew nothing about credit repair,
Mm-hmm.
I would be prompted to send a letter and I wouldn't have to worry about am I sending the wrong letter.
Correct.
So what you're saying is basically if you have the want to understand this business, you're going to be able to understand it.
Absolutely.
And that's what I love about it. Like that's what I love because people always ask me, they're like, well, what letter do I send for this? And what letter do I send for this? Now, granted, I know basic credit repair, right? I know credit repair, but marketing is my strong suit, not credit repair, right? It's a
Yep.
team for that. So it's like, you want to make sure that everyone is able to use it. So you've made it so that I can come in and if I wanted to fix my own credit, I'll be able to fix my own credit. If I
Absolutely.
wanted to make sure that my partner, grandma, mom, aunt, uncle, their credit, I could fix it on a family plan.
Yeah.
But not
Yeah.
only that, I would be able to use it and say, hey, you know what? I can turn this into an entire business because I see my success. Because when I looked at that, I saw that as the client journey.
Yep.
I saw that as the client says, I need to repair my credit.
You
And
got.
then they graduate from I need to repair my credit to oh, that wasn't so bad,
You got.
right? Because it's credit builders built in there, it's software for monitoring built in there, all of that, right?
Yep.
So then from there, I can say, oh, okay, well, you know what? I got the homies, I need to fix their credit up for them. So I can get the family plan.
Yep.
But then after that, the homies paid me a little money. I can do this, right? So let me just go ahead and get credit fixer business.
Yep.
And considering that each client is worth around $1,000 to you
Yep.
for the price that credit fixer is per month, like
Listen, man, I
this
might
is
need to
why
have
I say
more
it's
marketing
easy to
team.
make money. This
Yeah.
is why I
Yeah.
say it's easy to make money,
Yeah.
right? It's we
Yep.
got to put ourselves in a position to make money. It's
Yep.
easy to make money, right? And we just got to figure out what it is, what avenue that is that we're going to go through, what we're going to do. But I commend you again. Like I know I say it all the time. This product right here, this thing you got on your hands, right?
Yeah.
Has allows just the average person to come from, hey, I need to go ahead and get a car, but I can't afford $1,000 for somebody else to fix my credit. to let them go to the person that's actually getting paid the $1,000 to fix someone's credit.
And still not know what to do when that comes around again, because people are still ignorant about credit. And that's the beauty. That's why I say Credit Fixer is not just a credit repair platform. It's financial literacy. It's you educating yourself about credit, knowing when to make the right decisions, make the right moves, because that's what this thing. Things are different, change every time. Interest rates go up, so you need to know, like, damn, should I be buying a house right now with the interest rate right here? Or like my credit cards, I'm over leveraged. I'm 50% over leveraged. So I might need to get an installment loan or something or move that credit to another credit card to bring down that utilization. It's just stuff like that we don't know. And we just think that, fixing your credit is the end all be all. Nah. Right. Once you have great credit, how do you maintain it? Yeah. Like, when do you know to make the right moves? How do you get those inquiries removed? Yeah. How do you get funding like what you do, Mo? Yeah. Like, that report got to be a certain.
It's got to look right.
It got to be a certain mix. It's a formula to it. Yeah. And so I think that's the downside of just having somebody fix your credit for you. And then you end up in a situation again because you over leverage and then you go back to somebody to fix your credit. They ain't gonna tell you like, oh no, you don't need credit repair. They just remove some inquiries and then be like, oh no, you gotta pay this debt down. When that was the main thing that you need to do. I've seen that happen a lot of times, to certain people. And I just think that, man, we can work together, CROs and this software. Like I understand, like the credit repair business is actually going through some changes. Like the CROs, they're facing a lot of challenges with TSR and stuff like that. I already considered that. That's why, if you notice, I never pushed Credit Fixer Business. I never really pushed it because I was like, man, I think there's more value in DIY. Yeah. And I won't go into too much of that but I will say this, like, I got a solution for CROs if, these rules come down about TSR and all this other stuff saying that, hey, you can't take payments for 6 months. I got y'all covered. Don't even trip. Yeah. I got y'all covered.
You got it. It's in there. It's like, but let's talk about this. Like, fast forward 5 years. What do you see this thing? Like, are you gunning for the top spot or you got something else in mind? What's going on?
Oh, I'm gunning for the top spot for sure. I see myself hiring a CEO. Okay. Running a company, somebody smarter than I am, somebody that got the same type of heart and, for this type of problem that we're solving. I see Credit Fixer being a 9-figure business by then in 5 years.
5 years, 9 figures.
Believe that or not.
Let's go. Say it again. I'm gonna clip this part.
Believe that or not.
Credit Fixer 9 figures.
9 figures. Hey, every time I say just watch, I ain't never missed. Thank God. But just watch.
Yes. All right, 9 figures. I'm here for it. So we already know you coming from the top spot and you playing a different game. Right? Because it's like you playing I'm staying ahead, not I'm catching up. Because everybody else, they're trying to copy you. They're doing a little bit of this. They're taking their stuff to the developers and saying, make ours like Kabir's is over here. No. And you already moved on 2 steps away. Right? So we already know that. But for right now, I'm seeing that people who are younger and younger are coming into the credit repair space. Right? People who are younger and younger are coming into the entrepreneur space. So I'm sure there are plenty young hustlers that are looking up to you. What are your words for them in regard to starting a credit repair business or a fintech business, or if they're going to go into business for themselves? Because if they look like you and they sound like you and they rock how you rock, you already know they're going to be a problem, right? Because they're going to make some noise. So what do you have to say to them?
Man, before I answer that question, I was on a pitch call last night with an 18-year-old young man, black young man, and he just started college. He was the youngest Eagle Scout in history. I'm not into you know, camping and all that stuff. But he was the youngest Eagle Scout. I think he was 13 when he became an Eagle Scout. And
Oh,
apparently that's like the highest award that you can get for being a, what's it called? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Boy Scouts.
Boy Scout.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like the highest award. But yeah, this young man, his name was Michael, brilliant young brother. And he had a 16-year-old sister on too. They partners in their own business.
Nice.
It just had me smiling because I'm like, man, to be so young and be so astute and be so aware and just be even thinking on that level
Mm-hmm.
is amazing. It's
Yeah.
beyond amazing.
Yeah.
And so, like, whenever I see younger people, I always embrace them. I always make sure that I'm giving them any value that I can give them because they are really, it's their time now.
Yeah.
Like, although I'm 36,
We old now.
we are phasing out. This is their world. It's your world. It ain't our world. So I need them to embrace that as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But don't come at it arrogantly because there's so much that you need to learn. Like there's so many mistakes. So when you walk into something and you got this young energy where it's like you ain't never ran into no mistakes, no trials yet, but you feeling yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to feel that way, but also walk with a degree of humility so that you're able to accept and not run through the same pitfalls. Because my only desire is for you to be successful and elevate higher. Anybody that don't want you to be better than them, they just some haters. They
Right.
envious, they jealous, and nothing good comes from that. And so I like to see people win. And that's just, I guess that's just my makeup. I can't help myself. But to you young folks, go hard now. I mean, you're not too young. If you was, as long as you can comprehend something, you can do it.
Ooh.
That goes for any and everybody. I don't care if you're 50 years old and you want to try something. If you can comprehend it, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Your time is not up. Man, I saw rest in peace, Irv Gotti passed away
Yeah.
diabetes.
Got it. Yeah.
Diabetes.
Yeah.
You know, and rest in peace to that brother. You know, this was his time, you know. But even if you was 54, I think he was 54, you know, and he had to start all over, he could do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know why Irv came to my mind, but he popped up in my head, so I said, like, anybody know me, I just speak from the top. Like, I don't think much, but
That's why this is so good. That's why this is so good. Yeah, that's why it's so good. I appreciate that.
yeah,
Like
man.
what's the biggest mistake you've made in business that's cost you money or taught you a really good lesson?
Hiring the wrong people.
Oh, oh man.
But it taught me so many lessons. And like every time something big like that happens, like it teaches me like I need it to happen faster.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when they say fail fast, it's good to fail. Like anybody that don't fail, man, they cheated.
Yeah.
If you ain't had no failures, you can't be no real leader.
Nope. Nope.
If
Very
everything's just always this, you either stealing, lying, or flexing.
or all of the above.
Or all of it. Seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like those have been my biggest thing, just hiring the wrong people, but they've been the best lessons for me because now I look for, now I know what to, expect. And now a young brother Carson, one of my young guys, he speaks up pretty well. So, I learned from him, like I need to speak up a little bit more, like earlier. And so those are little things, man, that
Carson does photography, right?
yeah, that's my boy.
Yeah, yeah. I remember him from Credit Con.
Yeah. And no story about Carson, man. Carson was, he was looking to like get his business off the ground. And, he came to me and was like, hey, can I film you? And, and create a video for you and just show you what I can do. I said, sure. And I already knew what it was about. First, I wasn't going to do it, but I was like, man, it's a young brother right here. Let me see what he can do. And he did that. And, it came out to be one of the, my best videos. So, it left an impression on me. But more so, I just love the fact that the dude was hungry.
Yeah.
and he kind of reminded me of myself, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and striving to do something because he got value. You know what I mean? He know he's valuable,
Mm-hmm.
and all it takes is that one chance, and then you get on a platform high enough to where somebody can see like your value, and then you just take off higher than anybody, maybe even the person that introduced you, right?
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So man, like, I forget the question. That took me somewhere, but
Nah, you answered it. You're all good. You're all good. So let me go back to this Credit Fixer album,
yeah,
right? Because
that's my favorite shit to talk about.
listen, because I've been listening to it, I've been sending it to my family. I've been
Mhm.
like sending these songs. I've made videos on them,
Yeah,
and they're in my save. So when I do have videos, like when I clip this up, they're gonna be playing in the background, like all of that, you know. So what made you say, "Hey, you know what?" And I can almost imagine it was probably so you wouldn't say it to people. Like you're like, just let me put it on a track. But what made you just be like, hey, you know what? Let me get in here and create this and show them that I can do this too.
yeah. So I'm very creative, and I gotta thank my mom for that. Like, it's like that woman. She want to create something. She just make it happen, and I think that's what I got from her. It's like, I'm a creator. I don't like doing the same thing over and over and over.
Hmm.
I get bored, and so being that I'm creative, and I always had a love for music. Believe it or not, I can sing. I can sing different
What?
songs. I can sing women's songs and sound like, so people be surprised, like, damn, that was you. Like, yeah, it's me. But um, I figured, like, man, credit repair has become fraud in a sense. Like, there's
Mm,
so many, like, there's so much BS out there. Oh, you get your stuff removed in 24 hours, and that was a thing, especially
yeah,
during the pandemic. But now it kind of messed up the whole industry,
yeah.
right? And so I'm like, man, we need to kind of bring some good energy, good
Hmm.
feel back to credit, right? And credit
Hmm.
repair. And like, it's a journey, it's a process, And so I feel like the best way people learn is through music. And I heard, Minister Farrakhan, he said one song is better than 1,000 of my speeches.
Absolutely.
And that's why he always valued like the artists, musicians and stuff. And that's why he's like, yo, like the type of music that you put out in the industry could affect the whole population. So you got to
Right.
be careful what you put out there. But basically, the idea, I mean, the point was that it's power in music. And I was like, into myself, I was like, man, I'm creative. I can write a song. Shit. Why don't I? And people not trying to, share me. Why not just make something go viral with these dope songs? Make it
That's right.
undeniable.
That's right.
So I was like, let me make 100 songs. Like the Russell said, don't come to me and tell you did 100 songs, right?
That's
Don't be
right. That's
playing.
right. That's what he
So I'm
said.
I'm making 100 Credit Fixer songs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And y'all gonna just keep getting this music, and y'all gonna keep getting taught about credit repair and credit and finances through music. And it's just to it help you enjoy this whole process because it's truly a journey, and just enjoy it, experience
Right.
it, and just have let's make credit fun. Let's make financial literacy fun.
Let's make credit fun. Let's make financial literacy fun. I can't think of a better way to wrap this up. I can't even believe we've been talking for almost 50 minutes now.
Yeah.
Like this is amazing, and I just really appreciate you taking time to just talk to everyone and just give your wisdom. And I wanted people to have some insight. Sometimes I want people to see what I see,
Mhm.
right? And when there's something out there, I'm like, the world hasn't caught on yet, but they need to. And I'm going to do my very best to make sure that people hear about this software because we ain't into gatekeeping, right? I want so many, there are so many, like even I have a few mentees and they're like, well, what software should I use? I'm like, look, take a look at this one first, right? You can
Mhm.
choose whichever, you can choose what you choose, but take a look at this one right here first. And it makes a huge amount of difference when you're talking about moving along and growing with a company that is growing. And that means a lot to me. So I just appreciate you for just being that rock in the industry and committed to being ever growing.
Mhm.
Um, but just like, do you have any last words for the folks? Like, what I want to know is when it's all said and done, what do you want people to say about you and to say about Credit Fixer?
I want people to say, Kabir helped me help myself.
Mm.
Kabir helped me believe in myself. Kabir gave me access to a part of me that I knew was already in me, but gave me the confidence to like do it. You know, I didn't give up. I kept going. Like that's what I represent. Just never giving up. Just keep grinding, doing things the right way, and just remaining steadfast. So
Yeah.
hey.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate that. Well, tell everybody where they can find you at.
Yeah, everybody can find me at Credit Fixer. That's Credit FIXRR. Credit Fixer. You can type Credit Fixer anywhere, and that's where you're gonna find me. And hey, keep doing what you're doing. I thank y'all, those who watching this, who will watch this. Appreciate y'all. Please support Credit Fixer. Support Mo the Closer. She amazing. She a beautiful person, man. She dope. She one of the dopest. So
I appreciate that. I appreciate
yeah,
that. Thank
man.
you. Thank
And
you.
keep
So,
believing in yourself and keep going. That's it.
absolutely, absolutely. So we're gonna wrap this thing up. And just again, I appreciate you, bro. Like, thank you for all the light that you shine in our community. And I just really appreciate it. So from the industry to you, thank you. And if you are not already following me, I am Mo the Closer. That's MOE the Closer on all social media, including this video that's going to be on YouTube for you to like, share, and make sure you subscribe. Turn on your notification buttons because we are coming back. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. Later.
Yo.
All right.
Man,
Hey.
this is probably the best interview I've ever had.